Alright, kids, it is that time of the month again. Well, I mean, not that time of the month again. I mean, it's time for another UFC show. So, alright, on May 13th, we're going to have UFC 211. We got Stipe Miocic and Tyler Jr. Dos Santos on what should be one of the more stacked cards we're going to have all year round. I mean, this is a really, really front-loaded show. And you don't get too many of these much these days. Most pay-per-view programs are pretty glutted with filler. This one, surprisingly not, so we should all give the UFC a round of applause for this one. Alright, take it from the main event here. I'm going to be scrolling here using the official UFC metrics. Stipe Miocic taking on Junior Dos Santos. Now here's the thing. Stipe Miocic is one of those guys where I don't think we really respect him as a heavyweight champion. I mean, he did knock out Fabrice Overdoom. He did beat Alistair Overeem, two of the greatest heavyweights, give or take, of the last 15 years. But even then, we don't really sort of accept him as a legitimate champion. We kind of think he got some lucky shots. He weathered a storm against Overeem. That fight was very close to being finished. So I don't think, really the MMA world sees him as proper heavyweight material. I mean, he's a good fighter, but not champion material. Now, you take a look at Junior Dos Santos. This is a guy, if you want to see what a career in MMA will do to you, just look at this guy's face. I remember watching this guy in 2009, and he looked very spry, he looked young, he looked, ruggedly handsome, and now he looks like he's aged 40 years since 2009. I mean, you go in there and you get punched by heavyweights for a living, it's going to do some things to your body. And I can only fathom what this guy's brain's going to be like in 20 years. It's just, whew, that's got to be just a nightmare. But we don't care about that. We'll talk about CTE down the road. All we care about are the fights right now. And of course, this is a rematch, and I'm pretty sure Dos Santos won that one, the first fight. I don't want to look it up, but I'm certain he did. I could be wrong though, so if I am, don't crucify me. So let's take a look at the stats here, and you can see them for yourselves. Height, same. Weight, pretty much the same. Reach advantage for Miocic. Leg reach advantage for Dos Santos. And you can see the significant strikes for yourself right there and the grappling, so nothing to worry about too much there. Well, these guys land a lot of shots. Both guys are eating a lot of shots. Takedown favors Miocic. Takedown accuracy is better for Dos Santos. Takedown defense better for Dos Santos. Alright, so this is one of those fights where I think Junior Dos Santos, he's kind of on his last legs. I mean, he can't be fighting at this level anymore. I mean, he's kind of reached that Antonio Rodrigo Nogueira phase where, I mean, you can only take so many punches, you only have your leg twisted so many times before you look like some character from like a 1980s Sly Stallone movie. And I don't really see him getting that many more title shots down the line, as long as Cain Velasquez is always going to be getting hurt. And Overeem's kind of out of contention. You don't really have anybody else. You got a couple of talented young up-and-comers like Derek Lewis and that one French guy, not Nagano. But, I just don't really see him really getting this opportunity again, even if it is a really paper-thin division. And, the metrics here going back and forth. I think overall Dos Santos is just a better fighter. But I think Miocic might be the fresher guy. I don't think he's taken as much damage over the years, so he's going to be slightly faster. And in heavyweight fights, you just got to connect early and you got to connect often. So here's the thing. I think Miocic will not be able to get the takedown in the first round. But I do not think Dos Santos will be able to do much of anything in the second round. I think the longer this fight goes on, the longer it's going to favor Miocic. And I think eventually Dos Santos is going to gas and Miocic's going to win it by fourth round, TKO. And then we can start talking about this guy being a legitimate heavyweight champion. Because, beating Dos Santos, beating Overeem, beating Verdum, actually finishing them, that accounts for something. So hopefully Miocic will go in there and he'll get his milk and cookies for this one. Alright, co-main event. We're going to have Joanna champion taking on Jessica Andrade. Once again, you can look at the stats for yourself here. Pretty much even, considerable reach advantage there for Joanna. Leg reach the same. Both throwing a lot of punches. Jessica's eating a little bit more per fight, so that is pretty relevant, I suppose. Takedown average favors Jessica. Takedown defense favors the defending champion. Submission averages favors Andrade. Yeah, this one I think is going to be a 5-rounder. I don't really think Jessica has the physical skills, striking or submission-wise, to do much of anything. Standing on the ground, I think Joanna, she's going to be a challenge. She's going to lose a round or two. But I just think she grounds it out, and she should have no problem winning a unanimous decision. Well, maybe not unanimous decision, but a split decision, I think, to defend the title, and we'll have a rematch somewhere down the road. But just for now, Joanna Champion retains, but just barely. Demian Maia taking on Jorge Masvidal. Yeah, really big matchup here. Whoever wins this fight could be in contention for a welterweight title shot a lot sooner than later. Probably not for the end of the year, but maybe early 2018. So it's a big one. And look at the stats here. You can see for yourselves. Height advantage for Maia, but reach advantage for Masvidal. Masvidal landing way more strikes per minute, but he's also eating a whole lot more. Defense pretty much even. Accuracy even. Takedown average favors Maia. Takedown accuracy favors Masvidal. Takedown defense favors Masvidal. And of course, submissions per fight leans towards Maia. I'm going to go with Maia. I just think his takedown is much, much improved. And, while Jorge is a very good fighter, I think Demian's striking defense has gotten way, way better over the years. And, of course, he might just be the best pure Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu practitioner in all MMA nowadays. So I think he wins it. I think he wins it by third round submission. So late, but better than, nothing at all. Frankie Edgar taking on Yair Rodriguez. I can tell you right now, this is going to be a decision. Just these guys are very evenly matched. Huge height advantage for Yair. Big reach advantage, leg reach advantage. So, yeah, physically, Yair Rodriguez, he should be favored in this match, but Edgar's just such a tough dude. He's Wolverine. You throw him in his head, he gets right back up. And the rest of the stats are pretty even, except for the takedown. And, I just think Edgar's wrestling is better than Yair's takedown defense. I think it's going to be a very, very close fight, but Frankie's going to keep him at bay with his punches. I don't think the reach will do much to benefit Yair when Edgar keeps throwing him to the ground. So Edgar, unanimous decision victory. Not really ground and pound, not really land prey, but somewhere in between. I think that's how he ends up winning this one. Henry Cejudo taking on Sergio Pettis here, and this is pretty much a match term. He's going to be fighting Demetrius Johnson on the next UFC on Fox Sports 1 show that no one's going to watch and draw historically low ratings. Let's see. We need big variables here. Reach advantage for Sergio. Leg reach advantage for Sergio. Height reach advantage for Sergio. So yeah, the stats here really aren't that big. Not too much of a difference here. Although Cejudo does have really good takedown defense. The UFC wants Sergio to win this fight, and they want him to win it bad. But, I don't know, I just think Cejudo, he's a better wrestler. I mean, this guy, he's an Olympic-level athlete. I mean, he's that good. And he's got really good takedown defense. Maybe not the best striker compared to Sergio, but I think he's able to go in there and at least take him the distance. I think Cejudo wins a pretty fast little unanimous decision victory here on this one. All right, so very quickly, we're going to go down the FX card and the prelims. Eddie Alvarez taking on Dustin Poirier. You look at the stats for yourself, but I'm going to go with Alvarez to win this one by decision, unanimous. Chaz Skelly taking on Jason Knight. Not really familiar with either of these guys, but just a quick cursory glance here. Yeah, I'm going to go with Jason Knight by decision. Krzysztof Jotko taking on David Branch. David Branch back in the UFC. I haven't seen him fight in the UFC since like 2010 when he fought Gerald Harris. Remember that? The one with the rock bottom finish? Well, he's doing pretty well, I guess. So I'm going to go with Branch to win by second round. I think he wins by a slam because why not? Marco Polo Reyes taking on James Vick. Should be a very, very good fight. I'm going to go with Reyes to win this one by unanimous decision. Should be a back and forth affair. Jessica Aguilar taking on Courtney Casey. I'm going to go with Casey by decision. Jared Gordon versus Michael Quinones. Canones. Don't even have faces, so I really can't take anything here. But I'll go with Gordon. I just like his name better. He wins by decision. Chase Sherman taking on Rashad Coulter. The Vanilla Gorilla versus the Daywalker. Good lord, these names are terrible. Well, I'm going to go with Coulter just because I'm not going to pick a guy named the Vanilla Gorilla to win anything. I'll go with Rashad to win it by second round stoppage. Gabriel Benitez, nicknamed Mowgli, taking on Enrique Barzola. And, yeah, these guys look pretty evenly matched. I'll go with Barzola just because his face is a little bit fatter. He wins it by decision. And our curtain jerker, Joachim Christensen, taking on Gahuzentite Antagalov. Wow, those guys don't look like they weigh the same. That's a huge weight differential from that picture. But look at that. He's got literally a half-foot reach advantage over the Russian guy. So he's going to win it. Look at those strikes per minute. crazy. This guy doesn't throw punches at all. He's going to win by like first round knockout. Don't even bother. All right, so those are my picks for UFC 211. You know, feel free to use them for, you know, whatever entertainment purposes you want. I'll probably catch a show, and if it's entertaining enough or eventful enough, I'll be back here next week with a recap. So those are my predictions. Take them to the bank, take them to the track, take them to the horse races, take them to wherever you want. But just give me credit if you win any money on them. Or if you don't make any money, don't blame me because it's all for entertainment purposes.